Well, air travel is becoming more expensive and more complicated as tensions in West Asia disrupt global aviation. Air India has announced a new fuel surcharge that will push ticket prices higher, while airlines around the world are also dealing with airspace closures in the Gulf. Despite the conflict, flights are still operating through something called safe air corridors. Air India says ticket prices will rise after the airline introduced a fuel surge starting March 12. Because of rising aviation turbine fuel prices, passengers on domestic flights will now pay an additional 399 rupees fuel surge per ticket. For international routes, the surcharge varies $10 per West Asia flights and up to $50 increase on international routes, taking the surcharge to between $60 and $200. The airline says the move is necessary as jet fuel costs have surged amid the ongoing West Asia conflict, which has driven up global oil prices and operating costs for airlines. At the same time, airlines are facing major disruptions because large parts of West Asian airspace have been closed or restricted due to the ongoing conflict. And the region is one of the world's busiest aviation corridors connecting Europe, Asia and Africa, and when airspace shuts down, airlines are forced to cancel flights or take longer routes. These detours increase fuel consumption, add flight time, and push ticket prices higher for passengers worldwide. To keep some flights operating, authorities have opened safe air corridors. A safe air corridor is a predefined and tightly controlled route through the sky, allowing aircraft to fly safely even where surrounding airspace is considered risky because of military activity or security threats. Flights using these corridors follow the strict routes and designated altitudes so that air traffic controllers can closely monitor every aircraft. In the UAE, emergency corridors have been created that can handle up to 48 flights per hour, helping evacuate passengers and maintain limited air connectivity during the crisis. But even with these emergency routes, disruptions continue. Flights are taking longer detours, some routes remain suspended, and airlines are facing rising fuel bills, costs that are increasingly being passed on to passengers. For travelers, that means higher ticket prices, longer journeys, and uncertain schedules as the West Asia conflict continues to reshape global aviation. For more on this, our principal correspondent, Disha Yadav, has sent us this report. Take a look.
Amid rising tensions in West Asia and a sharp increase in the jet fuel prices, Indian carriers like Air India have announced a fuel surcharge on tickets, even as it continues to operate multiple flights from West Asia to India. Remember, starting from 12th of March, that is tomorrow, every passenger traveling on a domestic route will have to pay an additional 400 rupees per ticket as part of the fuel surcharge prices, and people taking flights towards West Asia will have to pay $10 per ticket. And from March 11th, what we understand, Air India along with Air India Express will be operating 58 flights to and from West Asia nations. They will continue to operate on key destinations like Dubai, Muscat as well as Jeddah. Remember, aviation experts do say that fuel accounts for total 40% of the flight operating cost, and with the recent surge in the oil prices, this burden has been now passed down to the passengers. With video journalist Siddesh, this is Disha reporting here for WION from Mumbai.